So Dawson, open up your manga corner.
Oh,
Go sit in your corner and talk about manga.
I know. Go sit by myself.
Huh? Keep it about as long as Andrew's whole thing.
I can do that. I mean, a lot of these I'm just going to go through really quick and shout out the main concept.
I want you to make it like as misleading as possible.
No. Just Dawson. Don't worry
you're
about
not going to read them anyway, so
I know, but I really want you to make it misleading
Dawson,
as possible.
Just talk about your manga.
I'm not going to go in any sort of real order here, besides like a general ordering of things. But this is like 2 to 3 weeks worth of manga, because for some reason I haven't talked about the manga I've read in the last couple podcasts. So there's a couple things.
Well, yeah, because we did round up and wrap up, which that was our whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. So first,
which reminds us, we have some manga to talk about later.
Yeah, we do have manga to talk about later.
And
anime. But previously, I think, which one was it? I think it was Love Tyrant was the one I was telling you guys about as one of the strangest harems I'd read.
Oh, is that
that's
the one
where they're all tied?
I died of? Like,
I think that's the one you died of laughter of.
Where you said a description and I went,
yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, basically tied together by weird shit. They're all like, I forget what I said to make you go off, but previously I was like, damn.
Well, you just described how they're all connected, and I think I lost it there.
Oh yeah, you have a dude who likes this girl, but it turns out she's super, super yandere for him, and then she gets linked together with him, plus this other angel in like basically a love triangle, because she's basically Cupid and writes it on her kiss note, which looks like a death note, but it says kiss note instead. But yeah.
Oh, one second.
That was that one.
Before you continue, there's a really great panel of like, so Yato, what did you do today? And then it just cuts to like Yukine just like, no. And then it just then it cuts again to like fisheye lens of like somebody looking through a doorknob.
Yeah.
Yukine looking just like totally like pale, like wide eye, just like aghast, and Yato with his biggest cat eyes ever with a book that says Yatoism, and it looks like a death note.
God damn it. That sounds pretty great.
I lost it.
But yeah, new strangest harem, abnormal girl.
Oh god,
the childhood friend character.
Okay.
The childhood friend character,
myself.
Who's like super like sleepy eyed and blonde, is a serial killer who just goes around killing people at night with a knife. The black haired sort of like Chunbyo-ish character.
No,
sort of. The black haired girl who's like smaller and is like sort of Chunbyo-ish thinks that he's the reincarnation of a lord, and she was his knight in a previous life. So she's like follows him around all the time. He's got a super popular girl at school that's his stalker, and she basically like keeps tabs on him at all times, but she's not like super yandere and jealous or anything like that. She's like, you can do whatever the fuck you want, but I'm gonna stalk you because I enjoy this.
Does she know that he goes out and kills people?
No, he doesn't.
No,
his childhood friend character does. Yeah.
Okay.
How well written is this?
Decently well written. It's not terrible.
Oh, okay. So there's 3 characters. So those are 3 girl characters. I thought the main character was a serial killer, and these girls fall in love with him. And I'm like, that's awesome.
No, the main character is just imagine 8-Man from Origaru, except instead of being super jaded, he just doesn't get girls, and he's
generic MC.
Sort of. I don't think
generic harem. Generic harem MC.
He's like
what
really.
What does 8-Man have besides jaded?
Dude, he's. I mean, 8-Man's different. He's not just jaded. He's like, I don't know.
He's cynical.
He's faux intellectual.
He's not like the oblivious MC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like he has.
He full well knows that 3 girls are into him, but he just does not. He does not.
I thought you said he was oblivious.
He specifically refused. No, he's not oblivious.
8-Man is.
Yeah.
But
this guy knows all the girls have a thing for him.
Okay, so
pretty much.
Okay.
And he's like super confident and stuff, but he's just like he's got the like whole fish eyes and everything, like the same way 8-Man has. But he
the look of dead in the eye.
He just like doesn't give a shit. He just like walks around at night for no reason. There's also another girl who just sleeps all the time in like the
So blue hair
in the infirmary. She's just like constantly asleep, and occasionally she wakes up, and the dude brings her like newspapers, so she knows what's going on. And she's super obsessed with the serial killings that are going on that were by the the childhood friend character. And there's like another girl in his harem too, who's super weird. Oh. The class president is like a super misogynist, and he just goes over to her house and like whips her sometimes.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
What?
It's really weird.
Okay, I'm sorry, Dawson, but Connor here looked up 8-Man on Google Images.
You don't understand, Dawson. It was only him. There's only 8-Man.
Apparently, is that why they call him 8-Man?
I don't know. No,
is that like an actual super?
They call him 8-Man because his name is Hachiman, and Hachi is 8 in Japanese.
Okay, and also because he's Batman sometimes.
Anyway.
This is so great. In the last episode, they like the commie subs dude like drew the whole opening with him as Batman the whole way through.
Oh, that's why I mean my fisheye. Okay.
Okay.
That's all I was
Dead
looking
fish
at.
eyes. Yeah.
So,
so yeah, that's a really strange harem.
Do you recommend this?
I mean, it's only 17 chapters in.
What?
So, and I don't know if anybody...
All this has happened in 17 chapters.
Yeah, dude, it like blew my mind when I read it.
Is it a monthly, a weekly? Is it still being translated?
I don't know if it's still... I feel like it's not still being translated.
See, this I would read.
To be honest. Like, you should just read it because it's really quick and really weird. And you're like, what the fuck is... Oh, he has a little sister character.
Oh, God.
But his little sister's, like, super cute yandere. Like, she's basically... It's weird. It's such a weird manga. Yeah, you should read it just to see what it's about, though. Is it still ongoing? It's still ongoing, yeah. I don't know if it's currently being translated or not, is the main thing. Because I read it recently, so I haven't...
Checked?
I haven't, like, gotten a new chapter yet. So yeah, that was weird. I've read a surprising amount of, like...
Wait, what's the name of this?
Abnormal Girl.
Oh,
Abnormal K. Joshi. Okay,
keep going.
I've read a surprising number of, like, gender bender stuff recently. Like,
Did you read Mari-san or something?
I didn't read Mari-san. Did I tell you guys about Boku Girl?
No. Dude, I keep saying that on r/manga.
Yeah, Boku Girl's interesting. It's like a weird... it's kind of like, you know the sections of Yamada where they're just, like, kissing each other a lot and shit? Mm-hmm. Because of the fact that they need to switch around a bunch? Yeah. Imagine... the Greek god, or the Norse god Loki is a girl, and she finds this dude that looks like a girl, and he's like, ha, I'm gonna make you actually a girl. This is gonna be hilarious. So she makes her actually a girl, him actually a girl, and he's like, holy shit, my thing's gone. What do I do? And then, yeah, it's just, he likes this girl, but he's a girl now, and his best friend, that girl likes his best friend, but his best friend doesn't like that girl in, like, a romantic way, but he starts having a weird thing for, like, his friend because he's a girl now. But he feels really weird about it because it is kind of weird. And he's like, I don't know if I'm okay with this. And then the main character also... He has a thing for this girl, but he also starts to have a thing for his guy friend.
Connor is dying in his seat right now.
And then they, like, the weird shit happens. They, like, kiss sometimes. It's got the weirdest character. Like, when he's a girl living in the boys' dorm still, and still hiding the fact that he's a girl from everyone, like, he's now a girl from everyone, this guy moves in to be his roommate. Now, he's now her. And he, like... is super into lingerie.
So he's a girl now, and they're like, "Oh, we'll get you a new roommate who's still a guy."
No, they don't know. The school doesn't know he's a girl yet. The school still thinks he's a guy, and he's still living in his old dorm.
So it's literally just he has a vagina now.
Literally, like, he has a vagina, and
he looks exactly the same.
His breasts are not quite as long.
Manly.
As manly, yeah. He's basically, he slightly gets breasts, but he's still pretty flat. And he's got a vagina now.
Why?
And shit happens.
Why is this
people. It's actually pretty interesting.
Okay, how, like, serious is this thing?
It's not super serious.
It's, like, meant to be a silly, fun thing, or?
Not super silly and fun. Like, It's not like Bakura test levels of silly and fun, but it's not like Nagino levels of seriousness.
Sounds just like weird.
I don't think you would like it. I do not suggest this for you, Connor.
Good.
I mean, I don't know if you'd like it or not, Andrew.
This seems like a Tumblr kind of story, like something that
It's
like
strange.
something that like an amateur kind of just writes just for the hell of it.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, dude, what is wrong with you kind of thing.
Except it's too offensive for Tumblr sometimes. I mean, it's not very...
No, I don't mean Tumblr as in that. I mean Tumblr as
in somebody writing a weird fanfic
or fanfiction.org or something like that. You know what I mean?
Somebody writing a weird fanfic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of is like that.
You're never going to get a chapter of that ever again.
Oh, that...
Of Normal Girl?
Yeah. Is the whole thing canceled?
No, just no one's translating
Yeah.
it. Because, like, I just saw it. It was, like, Chapter 13 came out June 2015.
Yeah. Nice.
And then I was, like... And then, like... But, like, the last one before that was January 2015. And then, like, before...
Nobody's translating.
Go learn Japanese, Dawson, and start...
I will one day, just so I can...
learning it yourself.
Just so I can read all these
Japanese
manga.
people love their goddamn gender benders, man.
Yeah, speaking of gender benders, I have two more for us.
Dude, like, you do understand, there's one manga that I was really, like, I started reading, but then I just dropped, like, 10 chapters in, called Inside Mari, where it's, like, this, like, neat, he's, like, this huge, like, he goes to college, he's like, oh, I'm gonna have all this, like, you know... college experiences, like university experiences, I'm gonna make new friends, yada yada yada, and then he makes no friends, and he just feels like everything's hopeless, so he stops going to school, and he lives by himself, and his parents call him like, hey, how's school going? He's like, oh, it's going great. And then there's this girl that he sees.
Sounds pretty good so far, I mean.
And then this girl, it's a gender bender manga. And so the only, like, saving light that he has every day is that he, like, goes to, like, a convenience store at, like, 9 every night to see this girl who also goes to the convenience store around that same time. And then he's walking behind her, and then she turns around.
Oh, you told me this.
Looks at him, and next thing you know, he's in her body. And, like, he's like, what's going on, and stuff like that. And I was like, oh...
See, that's a body switch. That's not a gender bender kind of thing that I would... You know, I wouldn't necessarily call that.
No, but then he goes to try to go, find his old body, and it's still him inside there. And apparently, like, from what I was reading on, like, some of the comments, is it became a lot more psychological than I thought it was originally going to be.
So you stopped reading it?
Yeah, I did. Dude, I looked at Gender Bender and I was like, I'm done.
I don't know why I read, like, Boku Girl, and I was like, I'm surprisingly okay with this whole gender bender thing. And then, like, I saw a thread of people being like, hey, suggest me gender bender mangas, and I was like, well, might as well. So I pulled some out of there, but I also read I Can't Be a Princess, which isn't as much of a gender bender. It's just this girl who basically, because she's so poor, can only wear her brother's... They can't afford new clothes.
Okay.
So she just wears her brother's old school uniforms.
Okay.
And she's, like, not that... she's pretty shy and not that outspoken. So everybody thinks she's a guy because she looks like a guy, almost. Not, like, really like a guy, but she's just pretty, like, gender neutral looking.
So shortish hair,
yeah,
and, like, neutral face.
Exactly. And it's not that... This one I don't like near as much as Boku Girl, as well as the other gender bendery manga I've read. But this one, basically, it's got the main guy character. What's this one called? Oh, I already said it. I Can't Be a Princess. The main guy character is basically, like, super adamant about the fact that every time anybody's like, hey, wow, you're pretty girly... Even though, because he thinks she's a guy, he's like, no, he's super manly, I swear. Even though she, like, kind of has a thing for him. So she's sad about the fact that...
Oh my god,
yeah.
I love this. Keep going.
It's got this, like, really bad female... It's highly possible. It's a really bad, like, female delinquent character that's into... that, and she has, like, a thing... for this girl who everybody thinks is a guy. And there's this whole, like...
Wait, the main character?
There's this female delinquent has the thing for the main character.
Oh, for the main character, okay.
Because she thinks...
He's a dude.
That that she is a dude.
Oh,
even though she's not a dude. So she's like...
This is one of those things where it's like, it's just a misunderstanding, and then if they spoke up once, this would all crumble. Yeah, but they don't, and it's fucking torturous.
Yeah. And also she's, like, really uncomfortable wearing girl clothes. Like, one time her brother bought... This is only, like, 15 chapters in or something.
Andrew, where'd your save go? Oh, it's on the... Never mind.
Yeah. But she, like, wears... girl clothes one time because her brother buys her some, and she like meets the dude when he's out, and the dude is super into her in girl clothes. And then, it's a strange manga. It's not
God.
It's not
what
that.
Has manga done?
That one's like okay. There's this other one I'm reading that I don't know the English for, and I don't even want to try to pronounce the Japanese. I'm a butcher to this. It's like Yuri na watashi to akome no kanojo. I don't know. Basically, there's this girl, and she isn't super into guys. She's got the whole.
Is this another gender bender?
Yes.
God damn it.
She's got the whole I hate guys sort of thing.
Okay.
And her whole reason she hates guys is because they used to pick on her when she was little, so she's scared of them.
Okay.
And there was this
Makes sense.
There's this one girl who came and saved her from being beat up by the guys one time, and she was like, "Oh,
can I just say
cool.
something?
Yeah.
This right now is a gender swapped Girls Bravo.
Yeah. Okay.
Because the main character hates girls because they always picked on him as a kid, and then he gets thrown into a world that's like all girls. Yeah.
The main difference here is this girl's got like super hardcore Yuri feelings for the girl that saved her, a long time ago, and she hasn't seen her since. She like came in, saved her, they shared a moment, and she left, and she's like, "Damn."
And that girl was secretly a guy on the inside and decided to have a sex changing surgery. And
the girl was still a girl at that point, but they kissed once during that like brief section where they met when they were younger. And apparently, this family that girl's from, that she has Yuri feelings for, has this thing where once kids like reach puberty, if they've kissed someone, they'll switch genders if they don't kiss that same person every day to like reload their testosterone levels. Like, she was a girl. She wasn't actually a girl at that time. She was a girl cross-dressing she was a guy cross-dressing as a girl. So basically, she is dressed as a girl, goes to her school now, and has to kiss this girl, our main character, every day in order to stay a guy, even though the main girl kind of wants her to be a girl.
Connor is
it's
dead.
Really weird. Connor's like really out of it.
Confused on this plot, man.
It's really confusing. It's not that good. Boku Girl's like the main gender bender sort of thing I would recommend.
The gender bender manga that I've seen was like I saw a review on like a little bit about this is where like a dude goes to live with like a family friend or something, and like the guy like for like school, and then the dad dresses up as like a woman, and the and acts like a woman, and then the mom dresses up like a dude and acts like a dude.
Yeah.
And then he meets like their daughter, and their daughter is like super hot, and he doesn't know what gender she is.
Oh, and it's just this big thing of like, what gender are you? I don't know. That sounds pretty funny.
Literally take her to the mall and then use the bathroom
and see which one she goes in.
You
can't know though.
Yeah, you
can't know.
Yeah, you don't know that.
Dude, you just gotta hope for the lucky pervert scenario.
No. You're like talking to her, and then you both just go, and then you go, "I'm gonna run into the bathroom," and if she goes, "I gotta go too," or something.
But what if she's a dude and just goes into the women's bathroom? Because she's dressed as a girl.
Yeah. Well, then at least she wants you to assume she's a dude or a girl. I don't know.
Anyway,
like I thought it was. You don't know because she's just androgynous, right?
No, she's like this super hot girl that looks like a girl.
Then wait, what?
But the problem is that like
this is among Andrew's heard about, not one.
Yeah.
Okay.
The dad dresses up like a girl and like a girl, and he's really convincing. Same with the mom, where she's really convincing as a guy.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know the whole thing about the parents.
They're really convincing.
Okay. Interesting.
And so he starts getting the hots for her, and he's like, "Is it a girl? Is it a guy? I don't know." But he doesn't want to ask about it because it would be weird.
Yeah.
You don't ask that.
You don't want to ask that question. I mean,
I've only heard about
I feel like when they finally answer that question, some random dude just comes up and he's like, "Hey, are you a guy or a girl? Male or female?"
Yeah, but then they could just lie.
Do you have any other manga for us, Dawson?
Well, you reminded
decent
me.
amount.
Holy shit.
You reminded me.
Okay, shotgun this one.
I'm a lot of these I'm a shotgun because they're pretty quick. I'm not gonna spend as much time on them. I read a shitty manga light novel adaptation. It was only like 4 chapters in, about a dude who reincarnates into a fantasy world as basically like a slave mancer. It was really dumb.
That still sounds
it
like
was
the dumbest
really
thing
edgy.
ever.
It was terrible. I mean, I'll keep reading it
mind
just
control,
because.
right?
Basically.
Why is it called Slave Mancer?
I don't know how it works. It's not like straight like mind control. He just kind of like, I mean, he basically just gets the power to make people do his bidding, and it increases.
And it's just called Slave Mancer.
Sexually. I think they just call it. He bangs them quite a bit. No. But
is it graphic? Is it graphic?
It's not graphic enough to be a hentai, but he totally
they
make it quite obvious.
Nozakiana way, or
sort of Nozakiana levels of that, except he's a little more violent in his sexual intercourse.
Okay.
Yeah, it was bad. Don't read it. I do not suggest.
And Dawson's like, I'm gonna go read it again next week.
I mean, if they release more chapters of it, I'll read it just because why not? But, I don't know if anyone's translating it. I read Sakura's Garden, or Sakura no Sono, which is a really weird, strangely almost disturbing manga about these girls who are just, they like, it seems like this weird, cute fantasy environment, and they're just living there with their teacher, and it's just a couple girls and their teacher. And it's obvious something is, like, really wrong here right from the beginning, but they don't like get to the heart of what it is. And
well, it sounds like something's really wrong here.
Yeah, something
very Madoka sounding right now.
It's very it reminded me a lot of Gakuro Gurishi.
Okay.
School Live, right? School Live. I forget which one it is.
But more prolonged and not immediate.
Yeah, they don't just like have the show you that and then have a reveal. It's these strangely innocent girls, and you start to really realize something's wrong when like one of them dies, and they have a party after one of them dies, and they treat it like something that's normal and something to be happy about because they're like returning to the ground. There's this weird disease thing going on with like mushrooms. Like one of the like 12, 13-year-old girls dies because she starts growing mushrooms on her, and that pretty much means they can't do anything about it. Yeah, it's really weird. The main girl starts to have like weird sexual desires and things, and she started.
Dawson, you just pick up the weirdest shit.
Dude, okay, I do this with manga. I just try to find, whenever I see something with a really strange like plot setup, I'm like, you know what, fuck it, it's probably not going to be that good, but I can read it really quickly, and I'm going to have it under my belt as something really weird I've written, and I just look for stuff that I've never heard of before. And this one was weird, too, because it feels almost like they're getting into this weird sort of, like, discussion on, like, femininity and stuff like that. It's like, I feel like it's the only manga or anime I've ever seen where they start talking about girls' periods sometimes.
Okay, continuing.
That was weird. Yeah.
Berserk.
Domestic. Huh?
Berserk.
Do they?
Yeah.
Berserk?
Yep.
There's
a whole
Casca
plot
gets
point.
her ass kicked.
Oh, yeah.
Off a cliff.
That's true.
Anyway.
Yeah, I remember that. Domestic Kanojo.
Put another coin in the Berserk jar.
Hey,
yeah, I know.
That was
highly relevant.
Yeah, that actually.
I don't care. Put another coin.
Yeah, we're still putting one in the Berserk jar. But this one I'm just going to give you the setup of. It was pretty recent. I caught up. I think this one's actually being actively translated. Basically, this guy, our main character, who's like surprisingly not super timid. He's a weird MC. Like he reminds me a lot. This is the one that's reminded me almost of White Album 2, but I liked better, even though I didn't love it. Basically, he's got a thing for a teacher at his school, and they like talk on the roof.
Teacher.
They talk on the roof sometimes, and they're like kind of close, but it's obvious she has like a boyfriend and stuff.
Okay.
And basically, he feels the pressure of like she's older than him, and she has this like experience of adulthood that he doesn't have.
Oh, so she's going out with someone.
And she's also going out with someone, and then he goes to a mixer, and he meets this girl at the mixer, and like the girl walks out, and he goes to talk to her, and she's pretty like weird and quiet and straightforward, and she's like, hey,
waiting for the weird shit.
She's like, hey, let's have sex.
Okay.
And he's like,
so Nozakiana.
and he's like, okay, you know what, I might as well do this. And right before they do it, she's like,
go reread Nozakiana.
This is way different than Nozakiana. He's like, the girl says to him, I don't want to talk to you again after this. I don't want to see you again after this. I just want to lose my virginity and leave, and we're gonna keep it at that.
Wear a condom.
And he's like, okay. And then they bang, and they leave. And then, like, a couple days later, he's, like, thinking about all this still. And he's like, was it okay for me to just have sex with her when I have a crush on this other girl who's my teacher?
Crushes are not...
Yeah, I know. But
it's a crush.
Yeah, but he has feelings. He's like, I mean, also, it's the whole question of, like, do you want to lose your virginity to someone you actually like?
No,
or
I know.
Just have, like, a fling?
I know, but that's
whatever.
Not the issue right now. The issue
that's his issue. That's his. I explained it wrong. But, his mom's dead. And his dad... This has been a plot point since the beginning.
His mom's dead.
His mom passed away at some previous point in time. His dad never remarried. And he's sitting at home one day, like a couple days later, and his dad's like, hey, so I just remarried... Or he's like, hey, I've been seeing this girl for a while, and I really like her.
No!
And you're gonna meet her today. She's coming over. And the teacher and the girl he banged are sisters. And they're the daughters of the dude his dad's getting remarried to, and he like starts living with them.
Wait, the dad's getting married to a dude?
No, sorry, I mixed up my genders there. The dad's remarrying this girl, and her daughters are the teacher who he has a thing for, and the girl that he banged and was supposed to never see again.
That's too much. What are the chances for me?
It really is. What are the chances? But he's just like, holy shit, this is bad.
What is this called?
Domestic no Kanojo.
Domestic.
I'm down for this.
It's pretty interesting. Like there's also...
I'm sold. I'd buy 2 of those right now.
Exactly. You should read it. It's interesting.
That's just like awkward, the anime or the manga.
It is pretty awkward. It's interesting though, and there's like a couple other girls who show up too. And there's this weird like American friend.
Wait. How old is the teacher and how old is the...
The teacher is 26, 27, something around there. She's like verging on Christmas cake. And
What?
So,
it's an expression.
Yeah,
it's an expression.
It's actually not. It's not. I shouldn't have used that.
Dawson, just keep going.
I'm not going to explain Christmas cake, but I used it wrong
because
she has a boyfriend.
Just keep going.
But,
just keep going.
Yeah, he's like what, 17, something like that, 17, 18. So yeah, that's interesting.
That's going to be some weird incestual sex.
It really is. It's kind of interesting.
It's not incest.
They do a good job with it. It's not incest, but
neither is a moto, you motherfucking liars.
Kissexis.
Kissexis. I feel like I haven't seen that, but I feel like
Kissexis is not incest.
That's not incest?
No, it's because his dad remarries and he's like, dude, go bone these 2 hot twins that I just remarried. Like, I remarried his mom, and like her daughters are super fucking hot. Go bang them.
That sounds... I really need to watch that.
I really need to read Kissexis.
There's this super sweet romance I read, and I don't think I talked about it, called Bonoji. And this is one where like the guy and girl actually get together halfway through the series, and the latter half of the series is them being together, and it works from the moment they first meet all the way up through when they get married.
A to Z.
Yeah, they go the full way through it, and it was really good, really sweet. The jokes were nice. It was super relaxing. I really liked it. If you ever feel like you want to read something sweet to calm down, I'd suggest it. I don't know the... give me 2 seconds here. Dusk Maiden of Amnesia. This sounds kind of weird and edgy, but it's kind of not. It's just this guy who goes to high school / middle school. I forget which one. They're interchangeable in my mind.
It sounds like an action show to me.
It's not. He goes to this school and he meets a girl there. There's a ton of ghost stories throughout the entire school about this girl named Yuko-san, who supposedly died there previously, and he like actually meets her ghost, and they hang out together, and it's like a romance.
Okay.
Sort of between him and a ghost that nobody else can see. Yeah, it was actually, I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
Way more than I expected to. And I think, is this the last one? Yeah. this is just. I mean, you read this too, I think, Andrew. But I'm really excited that there's the first chapter of a new manga by the guy who wrote Nozaki Anna.
I skimmed it and went, I should go read Nozaki Anna.
You really should. This one I'm happy about because his second manga that he did, I think it's a guy who wrote Nozaki Anna, I'm assuming. But the second manga that he wrote was Change Magazine's halfway. Plus, it was basically Nozaki Anna put into a high school setting and not as racy. Which just made it, like, towards the end...
Because you need to have the constant sex scenes in Nozaki Anna. Like, every chapter has at least one.
It makes it highly enjoyable. But this one just, like, feels like a toned-down Nozaki Anna, which is a bit of a rip-off, so... It wasn't that good. Nobody's translating it currently either, so I don't think it's ever gonna...
So for the idiots who haven't read Nozaki Anna...
Nozaki Anna...
No, we're gonna leave it at that. We're gonna keep going. We're not even
I talked about it previously in one of these.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Okay.
But,
okay, here's the laydown. This guy goes to the university, right? Mm-hmm. He moves into a new place, and he discovers there's a hole in his wall. He takes a look into the hole into the wall, and there's a girl masturbating in the hole. Like, basically, they're like...
Does he stick his dick in the hole?
No, like, it's only enough to see through it. Like,
I love how you put it as a size problem. No, it's not big enough.
Also, this guy wouldn't do that. But.
So he looks into the hole in the wall, and he notices a girl masturbating and observing him. And basically, she
observing him?
Yeah.
She's looking through the hole.
She's looking through the wall, and she's, like, masturbating to him.
Wait, how does he see her if she's looking through it?
She's not, like... looking through the hole, like...
But, like,
the hole's big
enough.
You have to suspend some disbelief on the hole here.
The hole
is definitely the focus of the whole thing, but they even go over in, like, omake and stuff. It's like, there's no way this would actually work. Like, you'd actually just see a small slit of stuff. Yeah. But we're gonna pretend, for the sake of this story, that you can see practically the whole room.
Yeah.
And
so she gets off at like watching people and stuff like that, and like,
and she knows that he sees her, or what?
Yeah, she basically as soon as she sees that he sees him, he sees her. She contacts him.
And
I forget how that happens.
No, basically he goes over to go confront her about it, and she opens the door and then like gets him in a compromising position so that she's able to blackmail him.
She takes a picture of it and she's like, okay.
Okay, here's the laydown. You're like, I'm gonna observe you on these days, and you can observe me if you want. You're not gonna block that hole, or else I'm gonna send out these pictures.
Yeah. And don't break the rules, and basically I have blackmail on you, and we're gonna take turns looking at each other.
Yeah.
On these different days.
And then it just so happens that she goes to the same university as him, in the same program, yada, yada, yada.
They're both art students.
I didn't get farther than that.
And there's just a ton of sex throughout the entire
like,
thing.
Almost every chapter.
I feel like I would remember this.
I definitely talked about this.
Anyway.
Yeah, I enjoyed... Nozaki Anna is surprisingly good for a manga that's highly centered around
This is
sex.
an interesting one where I skimmed through it and went... I know I'm gonna just feel bad like halfway down this manga, so I'm just not gonna read it.
Yeah, it's a long way through. I really enjoyed it though, and this new manga is about the main character who looks like the protagonist of this guy's other manga that isn't Nozaki Anna. So I was like, oh no, is this gonna be a third repeat of Nozaki Anna? But it's not. This guy's like actually into sports and stuff like that, and he basically
has the power.
He meets this weird girl, and because the girl falls in love with him, he gains the power to hear people's thoughts if he touches them.
Yeah.
I don't know how this works. It's only one chapter so far, but it's interesting enough for me to be excited for this.
So